G'day everyone and welcome to another episode of Paranormal and Cryptid Adventures. Today is a very exciting video. We are going to continue with our previous series, Communicating with a Yowie. If you want to hear about how we go about that, I'll cut to the chase a little later in the video. What I'm about to tell you is big. What I'm about to tell you is going to help prove whether or not we really are in a communication with a Yowie. And if we get the response that we want. Huge, absolutely huge. So let's cut to it. This video is kind of special because it's one of those ones where something super interesting has happened and something that could have real world evidence. A lot of people say to me that these videos, how do you know anything about it is legit? Well, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I've asked within these communications for the Yowie to basically prove that this is all happening as it happens. And we've got a response. And that response is going to give us basically a yes or a no. We're going to find out for sure and for certain if what we're speaking with and communicating with is a Yowie, and whether that Yowie can prove to us that what it's saying is valid. It's really hard to even talk about because as I sit here and talk about it right now, it makes me a bit nervous because people are gonna judge this whole series based on what's coming up now. So this series is going to have two videos. This one now focusing on this bigger slice of communication that could actually have real world implications, that could have real world proof come from it. And the second video will be the questions from the session itself. There was about 25 questions asked in this session. Only a handful of them are going to be discussed in this video. The rest of them will be coming out next week. So there's no point stuffing around. Let's just get straight into it. Okay, so the theme of this communication session is my campsite, my new base camp. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, go check out my previous videos in Yowie Finding Australia's Sasquatch Season 2. And also on my Bushcraft and Camping Adventures channel, where I'm building a brand new base camp with this explicit and set intention of interacting with Yowies and raising awareness and understanding. So in this communication session, I wanted to get it a little bit more personal. I wanted to see what could come of it if I start really talking about my campsite and whether Nadgicamb, the name of the Yowie that we are supposedly in communication with, whether Nadgicamb can come to my campsite and prove to me that he's been there. So the first question along this line of thinking, do you know where my new campsite is? And have you or your people been there at any point in time? Now the response, this bit I'm going to read, so excuse me while I look down. So he showed Fifi, the lady who did the communication, showed Fifi ley lines and said, Craig, you are tracking us. So why are you asking when you create a campsite in the places we move through? So again, ley lines seem to be important as navigational aids, and as obviously if you watch this series, ley lines and energy are significant to these beings. They seem to feed off of them and almost phase in and out through them, receive information through them. Go back and check out the other communications. It's all there. Ley lines, super significant. So showed Fifi ley lines and said, Craig, you are tracking us. So why are you asking when you have already created campsites in places we move through? So why are you asking when you've already created campsites in areas we move through? I guess that's a confirmation that they have moved through the areas where my campsite is. And so to them, they're saying, well, you're the one tracking us, don't you know? You know you're tracking us, you know you're near us. So why are you asking? So to me, that's a confirmation that they've been in the area that I'm in. Next question. And this is where we get to the crux of this communication session. How can I meet you in the flesh, in this reality, in 3D, and would you allow it? His response. What's the purpose? Now I don't know if he's saying what's the point of that, I don't get the point, or literally tell me the purpose of why you want to see me. I'm not scared, as in Nadgicamb's not scared. I'm just not sure it's from a clear place of awareness, of spirit. So I actually went to Fifi and said, can you give me more information on what he means here? And this is what she said. She said that he's not scared of meeting. He has no problems meeting. It doesn't faze him at all. But he said that, why am I focusing in the flesh, in 3D? Why am I focusing on seeing him in this reality? He said, that's not what he wants. He wants me to meet him in his space, in his reality, which is a more spiritual realm. He said there's no growth, or she said what he meant, or what she believes he meant, is that there's no growth for me in him coming to me. And this opened up a whole other avenue of thought. And earlier in the communications, it was mentioned about how there was learnings that may take place in this communication. And this could be one of them. He's basically saying, I could meet you in your reality, but why? What do we benefit from that? Remember, he doesn't have a YouTube channel. He doesn't have, time invested into all this research, and he doesn't have the curiosity that I have to physically see him. For him, it's a matter of personal growth. Why? Why would I not grow spiritually and be able to then, do the meditations and get into the spiritual space of mind that would allow me to meet him in his space? Again, refer back to previous communications to get more information on that. So he's looking for personal growth, which is really interesting. And that's something that it's not what you want in a one way, because you kind of want to see the guy. I want to see these things with my eyes. But he's saying, I want you to grow and come to me. Next one. And I asked him, is there any reason that he would not allow me to see him? And his response was, as I just said. So in other words, he wants to see growth. He wants to be almost like a guide, almost like a spiritual mentor. He wants to see me grow to the point where I can reach out and get to him. That's what we believe that is being said there. I said, do my cameras prevent you visiting me? Which is a big question, because we've often suspected that they do. It was a one-word response, and it was no. The cameras don't prevent him from visiting me. So that's something. Again, grain of salt with all this. Next question, I said, what can I do specifically to allow you or one of your kind to allow me to see you physically? I just wanted to know if there was something that would draw them in or something that they liked. And his answer was, I'm reading again, you can't from your perspective. Why are you so obsessed with this limiting 3D reality? So for him, this reality is very limited. So why am I so obsessed with it? To him, it's like, why don't you just come to our reality, and your people can do it. Why don't you just do that? So that's interesting in itself. Now, this is a big one. If you are not willing or interested in meeting me, would you be interested or willing to interact with objects at my base camp to prove that you've been there? Now, these communications have been somewhat non-committal in their wordings from time to time. Have a listen to this. He said, yes, I will do that. I will go in and out and leave a clear message. So yes, he said, yes, I will do that. I will go in and out and leave a clear message. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Next time at my campsite, is there going to be a massive X in the middle of my campsite? Is there going to be a footprint in the middle of my campsite? Is the campsite going to be wrecked? What does that mean? What that tells me is that he's willing to make his presence known in a way that doesn't involve me taking a shortcut. I think he sees that this would encourage me greatly. So he said, yes, he'll go to camp and he will leave a message that he's been there. So we wait and we watch now. Next time I'm at camp, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe there's something that's been left there. Maybe something's been moved. Maybe he'll move my bloody spear again. I don't know. But yes, I'll do that. I'll go in and out and leave a clear message. Very, very, very cool. That got me very excited when I first read that. And the last thing that I'll leave you on for this one, I said, if I left you gifts as a mark of respect, would you accept them? And this ties into the base camp. And and I also said, is there a particular gift that you would like? And now Fifi said here that there was a very distinct feeling of sadness that associated with this question, because nature and the planet being respected and revered by an awakening of humans. that's the gift he wants. In other words, a gift would be honoring spirit and honoring the planet. So I read into that, there's nothing I can give him that he wants, except for humans to stop destroying the place and show some respect for the planet, show some respect for spirit. And you know what? Yeah, cool, I get that. I get that. I get that. How do I show that in a gift? I don't know. I'm gonna have to do something in my campsite that demonstrates that. And I've got to leave that with myself to sit with, and it will come to me. It always does. But I've just got to sit here and just allow that answer to wash over me. How do I demonstrate to these beings that I respect the planet and respect nature? When I'm not there, when I'm away from camp, if they came through, how would they know I respect it? I don't know. I'll work on that. That will come to me in time. I've had these answers for a couple of weeks now, and I still don't know how I'll do that. But I'm sure the opposite opportunity will present itself, and when the time comes right, I reckon I'll know what to do. So what do you think? Do you think there's going to be a message left for me at the campsite next time I'm there? Or what timescale is he operating on? Does he mean, yeah, I'll do that in my time? And it could be 5 years, it could be 500 years, I don't know. I don't know what time means to these guys, I have no idea. Now, if you've made it this far to the video, then this explanation is a little bit pointless. But I just wanted to cover off on one thing. I am well aware that on my channel, I call out rubbish pixelated photos, and I call out people that see imaginary faces in trees, and I just say it's making everyone look bad. I call out the people who circle things and use their imagination way too much and don't seem to understand the way nature works and blame everything on Yowie's Bigfoot Sasquatch. And then some people have very, very correctly called me out and said, but dude, you sit there and think that you communicate with these things through a friend of yours and you call that legit, but you don't call these photos legit. I agree. I can totally see where you're coming from. The thing is, when I do these communication sessions, I'm allowing my mind to go forward with this process. I'm not claiming this is fact. When I talk about it, I'm not going to sit there and put a little asterisk next to every comment and say, well, this might not be true, but and allegedly this and supposedly that. For the purpose of this exercise, while I'm recording these sessions, I just go for it. I just let it all hang out. But if you don't know, I'm telling you now, I know this is highly speculative. And I know that the odds of this being legitimate communication with a Yowie, who knows what the odds are? Fifi, the lady who I use to communicate this process, in my opinion, based on my experience with her working with me and healing me, her work has changed my life. Go check my video where I talk about proof of alternate realities. She did a healing for me that was absolutely mind-blowing, and still to this second of my life is having real world impacts on me in a positive way. Exactly as she said it would. To me, this lady is the real deal. People say, oh, she's leading you down the garden path, and I mean, I'm not God, I don't know, maybe, but I personally don't believe it. Personally, I trust Fifi 100%. If she's incorrect, it's not on purpose. As far as she's aware, she is absolutely communicating with a Yowie on my behalf, asking these questions and giving me the responses. So you make of it what you will. I am not claiming this is proof. This is why I've asked the questions about my campsite in this session. Because I want to be able to say, look, Fifi said, he said he was going to go down there and do it, and he went down there and did it. In other words, leaving something at the campsite to show me he was there. Now, if I do 6, 7, 8 trips to the campsite and there's still no message left by Nadgicamb, by a Yowie, then at that point I might start maybe asking Fifi to communicate again and get a little bit more specific with what would the message be, when would he leave it, how would he leave it, what should I look for, etc. Who knows, maybe it'll mean he'll come to me in a dream. Who knows, I don't know. But I just wanted to put that little disclaimer at the end of the video, not at the start, because, you know, we want to get straight into the good stuff at the start of the video. So anyone thinking that, valid thought, but that's where I am with it. This is not proof, this is not evidence. This is an exercise, a research exercise that is designed to try any means necessary to learn more about these beings. And one day, if we have a breakthrough with this and it can get verified in the real world, then guess what? All of this can be verified. So we wait and we watch. Tune in next week or next episode on this channel where I have about 20 more questions that we asked, and there's some good ones in there, I'll tell you. There's a little bit about Yowie's histories. The Yowie even tells me their word for the planet, that the planet has a name. They tell me their name for that. We talk about all sorts of good stuff that I just don't want to get into now, but trust me when I say the next video has plenty of value, and you guys who enjoy these videos are going to absolutely love the next one. So thank you very much for watching. If you've gotten this far in the video, I appreciate it. Drop your comments down the bottom, let me know what you think. And basically this video is we wait and we watch. We see what happens. Will we get a message at our campsite? I guess only Nadgicamb knows that. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.